Hey guys, David the Fishing Pastor here, and I'm back. I know I haven't made a video in a little while, and I apologize for that. There's really a few reasons for that, including not really having the time, but really I think the biggest reason is I just haven't done anything different. I haven't fished any new bodies of water. Been really fishing the same places, so I really didn't want to make more videos of the same places doing the same things. And not just that, the fishing has not been great for me. We had a cold front move in, so it's been in the 30s, 40s, and the bite has been really tough. So I really just haven't had a reason to make a video. I do have a kayak video that I shot about a month ago maybe, and I just haven't gotten around to editing it, but I'm going to try to very soon. But today I actually want to do a top 5 baits of 2016, and I know I did that for last year, and I was out on the river and stuff. I'd love to be able to do that. Unfortunately, this whole week it's going to be raining, and again it's been pretty cold, so I'm going to do it right here in my house, and hopefully you enjoy my top 5 baits of 2016. All right, so coming in at number 5 is a newer bait that I fished a few times. Caught a fish on it actually the first time I went out and used it, like on the 4th cast. I had seen some videos about it, different people using them, and it intrigued me. So I went out and bought one. Then I actually went out and got a second one. But I'm actually talking about the Whopper Plopper. Really cool little bait. This is from River to Sea, and I've used it a few times, and it's really nice actually. It's like a buzz bait, but it floats, and I love this profile. I love that kind of crankbait-ish, kind of spookish profile. Feels a lot more comfortable to me. I have a lot more confidence with it. And again, I took it out. I have this one, which is the bluegill pattern. I also have one in like a shad pattern. Took it out the first time, I think the 4th cast or something. Ended up catching a fish. So great little topwater bait. And I don't do a whole lot of topwater fishing. I want to do more topwater fishing. In fact, this year I actually tried to do a little bit more frog fishing and spook fishing, and I don't have a whole lot of confidence with it. So it's something that I'm going to continue to work on in the spring. But definitely I felt a ton of confidence with this bait. I don't know why, I just right away felt like it was a really easy, comfortable bait to use, and really enjoyed using it. And then catching a fish my first time using it helped. So definitely, if you haven't tried the Whopper Plopper, I'd suggest getting out and getting one. This is the smaller version. I think it's the 90 or something like that. I don't remember what the sizes are, but I have 2 of the small versions. I don't have any of the bigger ones, but definitely a very cool little topwater bait that's really easy to use. You can kind of do anything with it. You don't have to struggle with, if you don't know how to walk the bait, or you're not familiar so much with buzz baits, things like that. It's definitely a great little bait, and it just the back of it spins as it's coming through the water, and makes a lot of noise. So definitely a very cool little bait, and that is coming in at number 5 for me. All right, so coming in at number 4 is a bait that I didn't use a whole lot. I did fish it a little bit last year, and to be honest, I still don't have a ton of confidence with it. Something that I'm still learning, and really most of these baits are probably things that I'm still learning. I don't have a whole lot of confidence, except for maybe 1 and 2. I definitely do, but this is the chatterbait, or the bladed jig. Again, something that I did fish last year, but I actually this year was the first time I ever caught a fish on a chatterbait, and this is the original Z-Man chatterbait. I have a few different kinds. I have that one. I have the Z-Man Freedom chatterbait, where the head actually swivels. And the fish that I caught on the chatterbait was on the Freedom chatterbait on the white version, and then I ended up snagging and losing it. But really love this chatterbait. Love the fact that it swivels, so the fish can't get too much leverage to spit that hook. Really amazing bait, that one. I really enjoy fishing. And then the other one is this bladed jig by Picasso. And chatterbait really is Z-Man. That is their trademark or whatever. We kind of use that name for, for all bladed jigs sometimes, kind of like we say rattle trap for all lipless crankbaits. That's actually a company. And then this is, again, the Picasso. This one's in black and blue. And, I started fishing it this year, just really wanted to get more comfortable with it. I've been fishing it a little bit here and there. Again, still not a whole ton of confidence with it. I did, like I said, catch a nice fish. It was like a 2-pounder or something like that. But it's really a great search bait. I fish them different ways. I swim it through the water. I also kind of bounce them off the bottom. Just depending on the conditions, but it's a great little search bait, and I don't fish spinner baits really at all. It's super rare that you'll see a spinner bait tied onto any one of my rods, and I like the profile of the chatterbait more. I really don't like the big profile of the spinnerbait. I have fished them. I have caught fish on spinnerbaits, but again, not one of my favorite lures. I don't know what it is about it. But definitely I love the profile. I love the more compact profile of the chatterbait, and the fact that it moves through the water, and that lip or whatever it is just vibrates through the water. So coming in at number 4, like I said, is the bladed jig or the chatterbait or whatever you want to call it. All right, so we went through the whopper plopper, the chatterbait, and coming in at number 3 is the soft-bodied swim bait. And I know for last year I kind of talked about this. This is kind of like the one that I talked about last year. The real difference is the one that I did for 2015 was a pre-rigged swim bait. That was like a Berkeley. It already has the hook in it. It already is weighted inside. This is just a swim bait itself, just the plastic itself. And this one is a Gambler Lures Easy Swimmer. And I have this in a couple different colors. I think this is in the 4-inch or 4.5-inch or something. And what I do is I rig them on some Gamakatsu weighted superline hooks, and these are 4/0. And the reason I switched over, I actually haven't fished one of those other ones this whole year, but I have been fishing these. And the reason I love these is because they're actually weedless. You can hide that hook in the plastic itself, but still get a really good hookup. I've caught a couple fish on them this year. I hooked a really nice, it had to be a 4 or 4.5, maybe even bigger, and he broke me off, and I was devastated. And you can see that in my video called What Else Can Go Wrong? But definitely a great thing to throw. Really enjoy throwing these. Again, can really kind of fish them anywhere. It targets bigger fish. You won't have too many smaller fish biting on these. The smallest one I got this year was maybe like a 1.5, almost 2-pounder. But definitely love throwing these swim baits. Again, just kind of love this fish-like profile. I'll put some scent on them, things like that, and they're just easy to fish. And then because the hooks are weighted themselves, you can get some good casts out there, bring it back, fish it really slow, close to the bottom. Again, you can kind of bounce them up and down, whatever you really want with them. But they have a great profile, and again, you know, if you get some of the bigger ones, I have different ones that I put on different things. These ones are the ones that I fish the most. I do have some like swim jig heads that the hook is exposed. I don't fish those too often, just for the sake of you know, not getting snagged up. And then I do have some other ones, but I have some of the scented paddlers from Z-Man. I have the Zoom Super Fluke Junior, the swimmers, you know, different ones like that. But definitely my favorite this year has had to be these Gambler lures on the Gamakatsu Superline weighted hooks. Okay, so we're down to number 2. We went through the Whopper Plopper, the Chatterbait, the Swim Bait. And, you know, I had kind of trouble with the first and second one because they're 2 lures that I really, really love, 2 lures that I have a lot of confidence in. And I just couldn't decide which one to put in which place. And I thought I had decided already, but I guess I just changed my mind. So coming in at number 2 is what was actually number 1 for last year, and that is the lipless crankbait. And to me, it has to be on the list. It's a lure that I fish constantly. It's a lure that I fish in many situations for many species. I said this last year. I've caught multiple species on these. And they're so versatile. Honestly, I can fish them anywhere. The profile is perfect. Again, what continues to be my favorite is the Rapala Rip and Wrap. But this one I actually got not too long ago. I actually have it in an unboxing video. And this is the Live Target, the Live Target lipless crankbait. Really realistic looking, great paint job on here. A little bit more pricey than the other ones, but I think it's worth it. You know, but just overall lipless crankbaits I can fish kind of anywhere. I kind of fish them all year long. The only time I've still been fishing them even in this cold front. Haven't really had too much success. I've been trying to finesse a little bit more, you know, but you know, either way, wherever I go, I'm always going to have one of these, if not tied on, then at least in my tackle box somewhere. I mean, I have a few different kinds. Love the Rapalas, the Live Target, and I actually have another one that I want to show you that I recently got that's kind of interesting. So you probably couldn't really tell, but this one's from Savage Gear, and recently got this one maybe a couple weeks ago now. And this one's really interesting because it's actually a soft-bodied lipless crankbait, internally weighted, so it actually has some good weight to it, but it's silent and it has no rattles. I think I can add some if I'd like to. It looks like there's a hole down here. This one's kind of in a sexy shad, very kind of translucent. You can see through it. Great profile. Fish is great, again, because it's internally weighted. I can get some good long casts out, but again, this one's silent. And just a really interesting lipless crankbait. Definitely have never used a soft-bodied lipless crankbait. I know now they have soft-bodied square-billed crankbaits, I think, as well. And it's just an interesting concept, and I'm going to get my hands on one of those too. But definitely very, very cool. But again, lipless crankbait, whether I'm at a lake, a pond, a river, whatever it is, definitely a lure that I'm going to have with me all the time. It's kind of my go-to. Things get tough, or I need a really good search bait if I don't have the chatterbait tied on. Again, I don't have a whole lot of confidence, but with this I definitely do catches me a lot of fish, and it catches me some nice fish as well. So again, coming in at number 2 is the lipless crankbait. Okay guys, so we counted down. We are finally now at number 1. And again, with number 2, number 1, a whole lot of confidence with both these baits. And it was a little bit tough to decide which one I liked more. But I think that just because I fished this one more, actually a little bit more this year, caught a lot of fish, did a few videos with them, and the ones that I did last year, I still love, you know, even if they're not on the list, still great baits. But this one's kind of a variation of last year. Last year, I talked about the football head jig. Well, this year I moved away from that, and I actually moved over to the finesse jig. And I have to tell you, these things work. If you are not used to fishing a jig and you want to get into it, I highly, highly recommend getting a finesse jig. You don't need heavy duty equipment for it, even though I do still use my jigging rod and stuff, and sometimes I'll use braid and all that. But man, I gotta tell you, this year, these jigs caught me a lot of fish, and even some nice fish. Just because they're smaller doesn't mean you only catch small fish. You do catch some smaller fish as opposed to, you know, a ½ ounce, 3/4 ounce football head jig. You're not going to get as many big bites, but I did get a lot of bites, and I did get some pretty quality fish. And these are actually Sandtone Lures finesse jigs. Really well built jigs. Honestly, I really didn't modify them much, and then with a good trailer on, they look like small crayfish, and they're irresistible to fish. They're easy to fish. You know, you can use them kind of search baits. You can cast them out. I do like to flip them more into some cover and some structure, and you know, you get some good line on there. You don't have to really worry about snagging up. But I just got to tell you that these jigs are just amazing. They don't have to be this brand necessarily, but just get yourself some finesse jigs and get out there. If you're comfortable with jigs, if you're not comfortable with jigs, whatever it is, I definitely recommend some finesse jigs. You know, especially where the fish are more finicky. They're used to, you know, a lot of lures. There's a lot of pressure, things like that. You can take this to any pond. You know, and you can, I'm sure you can even use them on lakes. I've used them on lakes and caught fish, but definitely on any pond, and you know, you'll find yourself getting some good bites. The great thing is that it's a jig, but again, it's also really helpful for those finicky fish. You know, I do still use the drop shot. I've been fishing the net rig and the shaky head and things like that, but by far the finesse jig has caught me more fish this year, probably than any other lure that I've used in 2016. So there you have it. At number 1, it is the finesse jig. Get yourself some finesse jigs. A couple of different colors. I have some that are more like a green pumpkin, and then this one is like a black with kind of some red flake on there. But definitely get some jigs, get some good trailers. And the trailer that I have found, I've used a couple different ones, and they've worked. There's one that I use from Mismo Baits and things like that. But by far my favorite is the Rage Tail, the Baby Craw. And again, just different colors. This one is... This one's in Candy Craw. I just got these. But man, definitely looks like some like a small crayfish, and just really great profile. And these, I found that these are my favorite, but you can use any trailers that you want. But you want some smaller ones because the finesse jigs are smaller. So again, coming in at number 1, the finesse jig with a good trailer on it. And whether you're comfortable with jigs or not, definitely get yourself some of these get started fishing jigs, because you can catch fish all year with jigs, in different conditions, different bodies of water, and I'm sure that it will help you get out there. I might make a video on how to fish these 5 lures, maybe at least maybe the top 2 that I have the most confidence in, but they're definitely some great lures. Okay guys, so there are my top 5 baits for 2016. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. I just want to say thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all your support. Again, I apologize for not having posted more videos in the last couple months, really. You know, for the same reasons that I said in the beginning, but I'm going to try to get more videos out there. I'm going to try to fish new places. I'm planning on maybe doing some striper fishing, things like that. So just keep an eye out for it. But again, you guys are amazing. Thank you for all your kind comments and all your encouragements. And even though I haven't posted any videos, the channel's continued to grow. You know, just hit 400 subscribers, so thank you for that. You guys are just the best ever. So thank you so much again. Hopefully I post another video soon, before Christmas or around that time. But if I don't, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless you guys. Get out there and catch yourself lots and lots of fish.